You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Shandek. Today on CYInterview, we welcome back magician Jen Kramer. Her show, The Magic of Jen Kramer, takes place at the Westgate, Las Vegas Resort and Casino. It just celebrated its 500th performance. Jen, thanks for being back with us on CYInterview. How are you?
Hi, Chris. I am doing great. Thank you for having me back on the show.
Oh, we're always happy to have you, of course. So, just after seeing The Magic of Jen Kramer last weekend, I believe, beginning to end, you're very hands-on with your customers, your audience, and try to make sure everyone has a good time. Where do you draw your positive energy from that you share with your audience during your show? I believe anyone who sees The Magic of Jen Kramer will leave feeling very positively.
Well, thank you so much. And, I am so grateful when I think about the audiences that, I have the privilege to have at our show. It is so much fun, and the audiences, have so many different possible activities that they could be doing, and the fact that they decide to come out and be a part of the show and that they bring that positive energy too is something that I feed off of. So I'm just so grateful to get the chance to do something that I love, to get to share that with wonderful audiences, and hopefully that shines through on stage, because I would love for everybody to walk out of the theater with a smile on their face, really, having had the best possible experience.
So are we just summing it up as something like not taking anything for granted?
I think that's a good way to put it. Absolutely. I'm so appreciative to get to do this thing that I care so much about. Yeah, absolutely.
So after the show, you take the time to literally meet with anybody who wants to meet with you from the audience. You'll spend 5 minutes talking with them, signing personalized autographs, taking photos with them. I was speaking with Akil the Real, one of your great staff, after the show, and I guess after going to Penn and Teller, you realized that they spend a lot of time interacting with their audience after the show. Is that kind of where it comes from?
Yeah, I think, as you were saying, just not taking for granted the fact that, I'm getting the chance to do magic, which I love so much, to share this with people every day. And I think for me, it's all about connecting with people. And that is true. I remember when I was a teenager, I came on a trip to Las Vegas with my family and went to see Penn and Teller, who are phenomenal, and I've admired them ever since I was a kid. And I remember that they did that meet and greet after their show, and they stayed and chatted with people until every last person, had gotten a chance to talk with them. And I remember at the time, I was probably around 15, 16, and that made a real impact on me, that these magicians, who I thought were so wonderful and still do, they're fantastic, that they really prioritized their audience and took time after the show. And I remember thinking, well, and I would love to have a Las Vegas show someday, and if, hopefully when I have that opportunity, this is something that I really would love to do too, to connect with people personally after the show.
Well, obviously, you've had some great successes with learning what works from other people, and many times that's what it's about, is learning what did other people do to be successful, and then kind of learning something from that. And then, of course, that leads me to my next question, surpassing 500 performances in Las Vegas at the Westgate Cabaret. What has that meant to you?
It has meant so much. It has been such an exciting milestone. I mean, time flies, for sure. We first opened the show in May of 2018, and it has been such a special place to perform as well. Just thinking about the history on property at Westgate, where Elvis performed hundreds of sold-out shows on property, and Barbra Streisand, and all of these real legends in the performing world. So I'm just so honored to have the chance to do my show at Westgate, and it's such a wonderful family feel as well. I really love the people I get to work with. They are wonderful, and it's just been such an exciting milestone to celebrate 500 shows.
We at CYInterview get to get around town and obviously see a lot of the performances. And what I realized at your show is that there were probably the most children I've ever seen at a show in Las Vegas, family-oriented, as you mentioned. Is that just by happenstance? Do you think the word has gotten out about your show? Do you have any reason why you believe that a lot of children come to your show with their families?
Well, it is an all-ages show, and we've had 3-4 generations come to the show together, where you'll have the kids, the parents, the grandparents, the great-grandparents, and I love that it's an all-ages show because, for me, it's so great to be able to connect with people, whether they're 7 or 70. And I think magic is really universal in that way. As for why, hopefully the word spreads, but that it is an all ages show. That it's a show that you can enjoy, whether you're a kid or an adult. That you can come and have a great time, and bring your whole family. So hopefully, whether it's through reviews or through word of mouth, people telling their friends. Hopefully that's why the word has gotten out. But it also, interestingly, it's kind of seasonal. It depends as well what is going on in town at a particular time. I know when you came to the show last week, it's we're right in the midst of summertime. So summertime has been a great time. Over the last few years, I've noticed that during the summertime, families will often come to the show when kids are on summer break from school. So oftentimes during the summer, we'll see even more kids than we might on average, which is great. I love the energy of having all ages in the room.
Yeah, we need to have the Jen Kramer Magic Summer Camp basically in Las Vegas, something like that, I suppose. But it was a different experience. But the reason I liked it so much is because we need more all ages shows in Las Vegas. There's not enough of them, unfortunately. So we need more of that, obviously. So moving forward, speaking about the show, I think what you do on stage looks effortless, but again, I imagine that there were many years where you practiced many of these routines till you got them correct. For the people who come to the show or the people who might consider coming to your show or have seen the show, is it fair to say that even today that you, when you're not performing, still practice some of these routines in your spare time to make sure that you're up to par with where you've been with them all these years?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt. I'm proud of what we've created so far with the show, but to me, it's a continually evolving thing, and I always want to keep working, keep practicing, keep rehearsing, keep tweaking even the tiniest details to really make the audience experience the best it possibly can be. So all the time, I'm constantly thinking about, how do I want to adjust the way that I, let's say a particular line or deliver a particular joke, or maybe it's the method of the way a piece of magic works, or the blocking and choreography on stage, or the music selections, all those little details that go into making the show happen. I'm always working on, and to me it's such a fun process to kind of work out those continual creative challenges and just do my best to over time make those little tweaks that after you make tweak after tweak, I think can end up having a real impact on the show, and I so enjoy continually working on the show that way.
Well, finally, it's obvious that you like to spread your talents and try to uplift people as much as you can, and we learned during the show about your travels to India, about Magicians Without Borders. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, so Magicians Without Borders is an organization that has been close to my heart ever since I first connected with the founders, Tom and Janet Berner, who are a wonderful husband-wife duo. Tom is a magician and Janet is a mime, and they have traveled the world performing magic for people who are often in really challenging situations all around the world, and they really spread hope and they spread happiness through what they do, and they're spreading the message that, hey, if I can do this seemingly impossible thing through magic, it's this inspiring message that if you're going through something difficult in your life, even if it seems completely insurmountable, it's this inspiring message that you can potentially overcome that seeming impossibility as well. And I have just admired Tom and Janet ever since I first connected with them when I was about 12 years old. And when I was at Yale for college, I founded the Yale Magic Society and was able to connect the two groups, Magicians Without Borders and the Yale Magic Society, these two groups that I love so much. And ever since then, the two groups have had this really fantastic relationship where they have collaborated on projects and trips. And there was one trip in particular, the one you're referring to, where we went to Mumbai and to rural Gujarat, India, the two groups together as a joint trip. So it was members of the Yale Magic Society and Magicians Without Borders, and we traveled around India and performed magic, and it was such a special trip, such an amazing trip. It was my first time in India, and everybody was so warm and welcoming, and it really was a great example of how universal magic is, because even with that language barrier, we didn't speak the same language, but we were able to communicate through magic. We were able to really connect with people, and I think ultimately that genuine human connection is what it's all about.
Oh, no doubt about that. Just a wonderful story, and it's amazing how you can bring people together. So with that being said, the Magic of Jen Kramer takes place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 3 p.m. at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. The show is for the entire family. Jen, thanks as always for being with us on CYInterview. Anything you'd like to add in closing?
Oh, thank you for having me, Chris. It was so great to have you at the show, and I would love to have your listeners there as well. So hope to see you at Westgate.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt about that.